Julifer 9211 coming at you with another live video. Today we're gonna see one of the Team DMA students. Most of these guys have been growing and growing and growing. Um, the class is over, I think, in a few days. I do 1 month of training to all my students, and I take them up to the next level. I do a Discord challenge, and basically take my time through videos, and it's roughly a month to teach them, and then they go to the next level. Uh, yeah, so what's going on? I'm not quite sure how long he's been playing, but from what I hear, he might have started recently, maybe 2, 3 months ago, competitively style. But I took him under my wing maybe like 3 weeks ago, so the month's almost over. But the class finished pretty quick because they had a lot of questions and they were hungry. So one of the subscribers or the students from Team DMA, Katsuki, we were conducting a test together. There's about 7 of us. Every month, the class they graduate, they leave, and I get a new class. So this is class number 5, and we conducted a test, and we wanted to make a dark magician deck. We made 3 variants. One of them's a hyper budget. The other one's a regular all top tier dark magician. And then we have 2 more versions, actually, now that I remember. One of them is the branded fusion. It's not as powerful. And then my final build, or our final build, was a dark magician invoke. Now, I reached to all the famous YouTubers and asked about 12 different channels, and they all said the same feedback: dark magician invoked is dead, leave it alone. Just to prove to my members, to my channels, to my viewers, even though it's a small channel, I told you guys that people don't know what they're doing. They're struggling. There's a lot of people still struggling with the format. A year ago, before the ban list, we already had the ban list and we were crushing everything. So when the ban list hit, we were not affected. Team DMA was not affected. We just still crushed everything. And one of the students uploaded a video, and I was looking at it closely and advising him what cards were good, what cards were bad. And I noticed he changed the format slightly with some DD Crows and adding a second village, which I disagree because it messes with the draw power ratio and combos. But he might have done a few misplays, nothing severe, but he actually played against the YCS format of Sky Striker, world champion YCS format, Sky Striker, Mystic, which is 3 land of the mines, 3 mystic mines, and then Sky Striker on top. If you pay attention to the duel of Sky Striker, no one beat it, and it won just a few days ago the world championship for YCS. And I've been telling people for years, for 3 years, that my profiles are able to beat the YCS champion decks, and people don't believe me. So this guy's a new player. He made some mistakes. He changed the deck lightly, which slowed the power, slowed the speed, and he still beat the YCS Sky Striker champion deck. So check it out. So there are the cards. He has Timaeus Dragon, Rod, Skill Drain, Salvation, and then he added a DD Crow, which is not part of the profile. But to be honest, some people have a side deck, and that's totally normal. But I guarantee you, if you side deck, it's only to negate the monster effects on the field. Other than that, it's not. No cards are needed because the deck is efficient with the Dark Ruler, the more, the Skill Drain, and there's a lot of combos, and then draw power. But it doesn't matter. He got the job done. So we're gonna take a look at it. So he starts playing, triggers, searches in the deck to prosperity, gets the Sky Striker package, hits the reinforcements, triggers chains, gets tokens, brings out Ace, comes out, and then he discards to banish the Ace, and then he goes ahead and he link summons. Sets 2 cards face down, so if you already know the YCS champion, what he's gonna do, they do have Line the Demise in the back, right? Do you remember? So he's gonna follow up into Dragoon, and then Land the Demise is activated, which triggers Mystic. He removes it. So he brings another Ace specials. The guy is riding Mystic just like on the YCS World Championship. He activates, no more spells can be played, sits on defense. The guy link climbs and enters Axis. Then he plays a monster versus monster and he breaks out of the Mystic just because he's desperate, because he's scared of the Village. So Village is in our favor, and also Mystic because we played through that combo, so we already know it. So he summoned, activated effect, boost, attack, killed. Then he plays the second Mystic, which is totally normal. And obviously because he changed the deck, the draw power changes, and then also he changed the ratio to the Dark Magician cards, like where he would have drawn a Soul Servant or Eternal Soul again, or restacked it. So the deck becomes a lot slower because of the DD Crows. He changed the format, but it doesn't matter. Dark Magician's out, banishes, draw power, he links, and it doesn't matter because of the veil, but he probably forgot if you don't have any spellcasters you can't play it. But he draws into the Eternal, activates Banish, and he banishes his own Dark Magician, which I disagree with, but he wanted to get past the combo of Sky Striker, YCS World Champion. Uses effect, dumps, opens, normal, special, activate chain, special, link. He brings his access code Tucker. Triggers the second Village, which I disagree, and wins against the world champion deck that everyone was crying that it was difficult to beat with the Team DMA format. The format is actually old. It is original creation, was by me 3 years ago, and it's been updated with the newer cards like additions of Illusion of Chaos, Timaeus the Dragon, things like that of that nature. So I played with this deck, and I played it on the original version, and I got more than 25 single duels won. And I beat Sky Strikers, but they didn't look like they were the YCS format. But I did do a bunch of other YCS formats, decks that do 3 to 4 negations per turn, which is YCS tournament style, and I was unaffected by it. The deck is able to draw a maximum of somewhere around 15, 16 cards your first turn, can take easily 2 negations per turn and unaffected. And you just saw for yourself someone who did minor misplays and tweaking on the deck, still was able to win against the world YCS champion deck that everyone was crying about, just so that I can prove that in our team we know exactly what we're doing. Everybody's 3 years behind us, and then to top it off, YCS decks are nothing to us. And in fact, a lot of the builds are budget, and people don't know. So there's a lot of people that argue with me with the budget, just because they say some of the cards are cheap, but are not cheap. But the reason why it's budget is because on my channel, I tell people when to buy cards when they're cheap, so they buy them, and the deck's value is like $300 or less. But then people who are not smart, they buy all the cards when everything's expensive. So if you're financially dumb, that's not my fault. If you were to follow the channel, you would be in a good position. I've been giving some cards away. There was way too many complaining again from people, because as soon as someone wins a deck, people start crying about it. So I stopped it. This is the third time that I stopped the giveaways. I've given a lot of free decks, a lot of single cards, and it was going to reach close to 5,000 worth of cards. Some of the first place winner I ended up sending more cards in the mail. Obviously, sadly, he's international, so it takes up to a month to arrive to his location. He already got the extra deck for free, and he's gonna finish getting more cards. So I am gonna show the name of the duelist. So Pandemonius Acer, Acer. It's up here under parental advisory on the left top by 607 for the time. So that's his channel. If you guys want to subscribe to talk to him, but actually I'm very happy for him. He's about to graduate, and he's able to beat the YCS formats finally, and he has his first YCS format defeat. My decks are able to easily crush them. They're super weak. There is no deck that we're afraid of. Me especially, I don't play any hand traps. I don't need them. They're the YCS format. But if somebody wants to play them, it's fine. If anybody wants to join the group and learn and move forward, you're glad to come into the class. Also, just so people know, we're not afraid of feather. We're not affected by it. We're not affected by kaijus. We're not affected by Nibiru. We're not affected by the hand traps. We're not affected by any decks. We're not scared of any decks. And with that having been said, Dark Magic Attack.